Hey, what up, Long Beach? Welcome back to the 562.org. It's Mike.
And JJ, and this football preview video is brought to you by Naples Rib Company.
Time to hand out the equipment at 1600 Atlantic. Head coach Stephen Barbie has been building this program back, JJ.
Yes, the depth is back at Poly, so a lot of that equipment being handed out. And you look around at the roster, you got to start at quarterback, Shea Kuykendall and Darius Curry. Curry, a sophomore, with offers from LSU and Georgia, among others.
And we got a good chance to see the senior Shea Money and what he can do with his feet and his arm last year. Very versatile guy, very good when he pulls the ball down, but also able to find the open receivers for the Jackrabbits.
He's also a great leader. He was the guy who really rallied those troops when, we didn't know what the deal was with COVID in that spring season.
For sure. At the running backs, we've got senior Devin Samples and sophomore Joshua Noodles Kaysen. We got a huge sampling of Samples last year as we got to see him doing it all for the Jackrabbits.
That run right there against Sarah, one of my favorite of the season. Don't go down, young fella. Stay up.
At receiver, there are going to be a lot of new faces, but also a lot of talent. Simeon Williams, the Bordeaux brothers, Tyson and Titus, Nick Kelly, Mikhail Jackson, and others. But if you want to talk about how deep these Jackrabbits are, we're barely even talking about Malik Brown, a 6'3" tight end who contributed last year for Poly.
Shea Kuykendall, good on the move. That's great for Brown. That's when he catches his passes.
Up front is going to be the difference maker this year. Tyson Ruffins, Nathan Samoa, Donovan Poe, Wendell Moe, and Tawina Ola Lole, the younger brother of Jermaine Lole. And they've even got a kicker, JJ. Junior kicker Dylan Michelle only missed once last season.
Wonders never cease, Mike. More league kickers.
At Poly, it's all about the D block, and they've got some guys. Let's start with returning More League Defensive Player of the Year, Donovan Poe. He was a tear at linebacker and defensive line, and everyone got to see a lot of this guy last year.
He's also just a good kid. You know what I mean? We had him at our photo shoot, and he's the kind of guy you want leading a tenacious D like this.
He's definitely a good kid off the field. He's a very scary kid on the field, and when he's lined up at linebacker, he'll have a lot of help. Jalen Johnson, the monster, Jeremiah Fort. There's also a very talented sophomore transfer in Dylan Williams out there. And the repo man, junior Ike Mikaele. This is one of the most talented linebacking cores we've seen in the last 15 years.
Best since George Daly Lyles led the Jackrabbits to a CIF title?
I would go back to 2008 to compare, absolutely. And then at defensive line, Wendell Wowo Mo, one of the best two-way linemen that we've seen in the Moore League since Jarrell Casey, 6'3", 330 pounds, an absolute problem whether he's on offense or defense. And the entire league and city are going to see a lot of him in both places.
I mean, for goodness sake, the guy enjoyed playing football against Compton in that double wing. Look at him. He loves this stuff.
You're going to see Ruffins and Phoenix Tusa among the other defensive linemen, but as I said, a lot more depth up front for the Jackrabbits than they've had the last couple of seasons. And then always skilled at the DBs at Poly, Rashad Wadood has a bounty this year. The aforementioned Simeon Williams will be joined by Timmy Tuyagamoa, Kylan Allen, and then obviously the junior Dalen Austin, one of the highest rated junior corners in the nation.
I think when we talk about depth, when you talk about the DBs, that's where you should start, right? Because that's what we always saw with those old Poly teams.
Well, and look at a guy like Donovan Turner, who was a heavy hitter in the defensive backfield last year. He's got D1 offers as well, and they are just stacked up this year. The Jackrabbits have been running the city for a while. They're hoping to run considerably more than that in 2021, and to be honest with you, they're looking good.
And they've got those big non-league games against Corona Centennial and Mission Viejo. So thank you to all of our sponsors, including Ocean Law Center. And if you want to follow everything Poly Jackrabbit football, you keep it right here at the562.org.